Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel where I talk about movies. And before I talk about the movie today, I would like to just give a brief channel update because I'm going to be putting my channel on pause for the next few months. For those of you who saw my 2024 update in early January, you know that I'm about to embark, in fact I've already started, on daily medical treatments that will extend about 3 months into the future. So I'm going to put the channel on pause. I hope to do maybe one video during that interim, giving an update of how I'm doing and maybe some of the movies that I've seen that I really liked during that period of time. And hopefully maybe by May or June I can start doing more regular content. And I also want to thank everybody, deep thanks for the best wishes that I've received in the comments section on that video and elsewhere. So the movie I'm going to talk about today is a very interesting, very entertaining movie, and this is The Apprenticeship of Duty Kravitz from 1974, starring Richard Dreyfus, directed by Ted Kotcheff from a novel and screenplay by Mordecai Richler. And this is a Fun City edition recent release, so that was the slipcase, and this is the original poster art on the physical disc case. It also comes with a short booklet with an very interesting essay. And there's also a commentary and the essay. The commentary is the only real supplement. So who is Duty Kravitz? He is a recent high school graduate. He is coming from the working class Jewish enclave of Montreal in the late 1940s. He is very much a brash rebel type of person, very confident. He wants to get ahead in the world. He is a go-getter. And the movie very much explores this neighborhood. In the book and the movie, it's very authentic in its recreation of this working class environment in Montreal. And so we touch on the ethnicity of the just Jewish enclave, surrounded by a Gentile population, and also class, because Duty is working class, and his father is a taxi driver, a part-time pimp, just entertainingly played by Jack Warden. He has an uncle Benji, who is a socialist factory owner, he has money, but Duty is estranged from him. And he's played by Joseph Wiseman, Dr. No. And Wiseman always brings a great deal of gravitas to whatever character he plays. And so Duty, in the summertime, he works at a summer resort. This is for the sort of the nouveau riche Jewish community, class above Duty's class, and he is a real go-getter. He's a waiter, and he's the best. He gets the best tips. He wants to make some money. He is disdained by one of the other camp employees who comes from a very rich environment, who has nothing but disdain for Duty's sort of stereotype of this social climbing Jewish entrepreneur, which is really what Duty is. But he also gets a girlfriend there. This is Yvette, and she is a French-Canadian local, and they take walks out in the woods, and she takes them to this sort of hidden lake surrounded by these beautiful forests, and Duty looks at this and he says, "This is what I want. I am going to buy this." Yvette is absolutely astounded. "You have no money." But Duty is obsessed with the idea that his grandfather, his Zeta, has told him that you're a nobody without land. So And Duty has taken that to heart. So this is his dream. He's going to buy all this properties, the several properties that surround the lake. He's going to create a great resort, and part of this land will be a farm for his Zeta, who has worked his entire life as a shoemaker. So the schemes pile up. They're never ending, and they're often very, very entertaining as he tries to amass enough money to buy up all this property. One of his schemes is he creates a film company. He knows nothing about movies, making movies, but he comes across the idea that he's going to film color films of bar mitzvahs, and he meets he attends a lecture by a famous American film director. It's actually English, but he comes from Hollywood, at a lecture because he wants to learn more about film production. So he meets him later, and he finds out that this director is blacklisted. He's also a big-time drunk, but he knows how to make a movie. But he has delusions of grandeur. So when he agrees to film these bar mitzvahs, he kind of films them as if he is the Eisenstein of bar mitzvah films. And we do get to see an actual example of his bar mitzvah film, which is absolutely hilarious. And this character is played by Denhelm Elliott, another one of the very many colorful characters that make the Apprenticeship of Duty Kravitz well worth watching. So the Apprenticeship as a title is very apt because what is he learning in this apprenticeship? What does Duty learn? He's always confident. Yvette helps him out in all his schemes, and then he also meets Virgil on a train by chance. Virgil has bought a bunch of pinball machines that he cannot sell, and Duty says, sensing, oh, maybe another scheme to make some more money. Well, come and see me sometime, which Virgil does with these pinball machines. Virgil is a rather naive character. He begins to idolize Duty and works for him. But Duty's flaw is that he will do anything to raise this money. So he puts a deposit on land, but he needs more money. How's he going to get it? And he eventually does betray the trust of those people who care for him. Randy Quaid plays Virgil, another interesting character in this film. So what does Duty learn? Does he embrace the dog-eat-dog idea of capitalism, or does he become a mensch, a human being, in this apprenticeship? Because you think Duty doesn't have a conscience, but he does. He knows he's doing wrong, but he can't help himself because this is what he needs for success. So, and he does suffer from some despair when he realizes some of the tragic nature of this stepping on other people. And he has a friend who is an older man who is a junk, that he met at the resort, who is a junk dealer, and he has filmed a bar mitzvah for his son. And the junk dealer says, I came out from nothing. I didn't know 5 words. You can't take it seriously. You have to step over people to get to success. I did bad things too. You have to get over it. You can't be weak if you want to be a success. So this is somewhat the dilemma from an audience standpoint, point of view, is we find Duty very entertaining, at times endearing, and yet he does bad things. So, and this is the same Duty that's in Mordecai Richler's novel, which was published in 1959. He grew up in this Montreal working class area of enclave, Jewish enclave, and so it's not an autobiographical novel because Duty is not Richler, but it's based on very much evocative of the area, this area of Montreal, and the colorful people that Richler encountered in this area that he grew up in, his friends and just colorful people. The character, I'm sure Duty must have been based on somebody he knew. So the novel was 1959. Richler went and it got great reviews. This was a new Canadian literature. This was something different. This was describing actual real-life Canadians, what Canadian life was like. But Richler went to London to become part of the burgeoning literary community in London in the 1950s. And his roommate was Ted Kotcheff. And Kotcheff was from a working class environment, grew up in Toronto. And he was an ambitious film director, but there was nowhere to go in the Canadian film industry. This was before the tax shelter government program to encourage Canadian films that David Cronenberg started out in. And he said to Richler, if we ever make a movie of this, I'm going to direct it. And Kotcheff would go on to, so they came back to Canada to film Duty Kravitz, and Kotcheff would eventually go to Hollywood and have great success with movies like North Dallas 40 and a big success with Rambo: First Blood. And when the movie came out, it was a surprising success. In Canada, the book had already become famous. It was on reading lists, so it was like 15 years from the original publication of the novel to the movie. But it was a big success in Canada. And it was a success in New York City, at least, judging from some of the reviews, contemporaneous reviews I read. It got a very good review from Denson Canby, excuse me, in the New York Times, Pauline Kael, and in the New Yorker. Irony is that Richard Dreyfus hated his performance. He thought he exaggerated. He thought he played the part too over the top. He thought his laughter, he used his laughter way too often. It was too brash, his braying laughter. But when it opened, and he was worried that he was up for the role in Jaws, which would be his next movie, and really make him a big star. And he was up for the role, and he was so ashamed of his performance here. He lobbied Spielberg to get that role before everybody in Hollywood saw his performance here, which he thought everybody would think, well, we don't want to hire him. It's such a terrible performance. And of course, the audiences loved him. They loved Dreyfus. They loved his laughter. He used that braying laughter throughout his career. It became almost sort of his trademark. And it also won, and I was really surprised to see this, it won the Golden Bear at the Venice Film Festival. So it was a significant film in its time, which is kind of strange that this movie, from what I gather, has never been out on DVD or Blu-ray. And it's a pretty entertaining film, and certainly deserving. We get a commentary. It's the only real supplement is a commentary, and we do get an essay in the booklet. And duty does unto others before others do unto him. This is a pretty good replication of Duty Kravitz's kind of his rapturous laughter as he gives everybody the finger. Okay, thanks a lot for everybody who managed to listen. I do appreciate it. Comments, welcome. Hopefully, I'll see you guys soon.